Hey, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I feel like I always say that. It's kind of the thing that just comes naturally to me. So I feel like I always open up these live streams with the hey and the good morning and whatnot. But hey, it's what works for me. Today, I don't have any like specific notes or anything like that really created for you guys today. Today, I'm just going to come on. I wanted to share today my framework, my CCC framework. A lot of people actually throughout the course of this has been messaging me and kind of asking me a little bit more information about specifically how I work with my clients. And so, before I talk about that, I just want to say that if you have not been joining me this month, or if you have not seen any of the videos yet, or if you've seen some, you haven't seen some, feel free to go back. I mean, they're all here inside of the group for you. Feel free to go back and, look at the videos that you feel like you need most support around. Look at the videos that, if you were to watch them all, it kind of gives you like a good holistic view of the first part of my framework. So that'll definitely help you to get a sense of what that looks like. But feel free to go back and look at the videos and ask me any questions that you might have on that. So today, just to kind of set the tone for you, I'm not going to necessarily go over that in too much detail. But what I want to do is I want to kind of share with you guys why I created the CCC framework. I wanted to share with you what it is about, how it works, how it helps myself, my clients, without, again, rehashing all the stuff that we talked about before, how it can help you and how you can apply it to your business to actually increase your sales, increase your conversions, and generate more revenue and results in your business, right? So I am super, super obsessed with this, and I'm excited to share it with you guys because while I have been supporting clients and I have been using this framework in my own business, and I've been helping my clients with this for a number of years, I haven't really fully been sharing it as much. And what I've realized is that there's more people out there that, can really benefit from this. And so I really wanted to take the time today to share that and to really kind of let you guys in on what that looks like. So I'm just going to dive in, right? If you're here and you're watching me, let me just say my usual. If you're here and you're watching me, let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you're watching the replay if you are watching the replay. And of course, if we go through the content of today and when we go through the content today and you have any questions, feel free to pop them inside the comments box and I will 100% get back to you on that. All right, so let me just talk about it real quick. As you know, this entire month I've been delivering these quick, short little videos for you, and today is going to be the same. So one of the questions that I get a lot when people are either looking to hire me or they see my content, they send me messages, they kind of want to know a little bit more about what I am, my philosophy and all that stuff is, well, what is connection-based marketing exactly? A lot of people are actually intrigued by it. They want to know a little bit more about my framework. So like I said, I figured let me just share that here. So I created, so let me back up a little bit. I actually created this framework for myself in my business about 3 years ago. I created this framework for myself in my business. It started out as the brainchild of me wanting to actually shift the way that I was feeling towards my business. So when I started out and I was coaching and I was doing business coaching, I was just kind of doing business coaching. I was helping people start their businesses. I work with a lot of coaches and a lot of people who are just starting up in business at that time. Now I work with people at all levels of their business. So still a lot of people who are starting up, but now my clients also include people who are looking to scale, right? So when I first started out in my business as a business coach, I was just kind of coaching, right? And then what I realized was there's a lot of pieces that I needed to really narrow in on that I was not necessarily tapping into in my marketing and in my support for my clients. And so like I've taught you guys this entire month, it really started for me as a journey within, right? And I knew that I needed to step back and I needed to sort of create something that I felt really, really connected to. I needed to start to look at what my unique strengths were and how was I leveraging that in my business, because I experienced the same thing, you guys, that my clients experience, and that you, if you're in this online digital marketing space, are experienced or may have at one point or currently are experiencing. And that is that burnout, that like, holy crap, I sound like every other, person talking about business coaching. And I knew, like, for me, that was not something that, like, for me, I'm just not okay with inauthenticity. That's just me. Like, I'm just not, it's a very high value of mine that I am showing up authentically, that I'm leading from a place of integrity, that I am really, really, living my values, not just in my personal life, but also in my business, right? And so I knew that my business had just become like, I wasn't feeling that connection to it. So the Connect, Create, Convert business model framework actually came out of my need myself for changing the way that I was approaching my business. And so I literally had that moment of burnout where I was like, the people that I'm serving, it's not the quality of people let me rephrase that. The people that I was serving at the time I wasn't supporting the people at the level that I felt like I should be, or that needed my support. Like, it was just not a fit. Like, a lot of the clients that I was attracting was just not the kind of clients that I knew I really, really wanted to work with. And not from a standpoint of them not fitting my ideal client avatar, but from a standpoint of being energetically and value, like in that sense, connected, right? And aligned. And I also knew that I was not seeing the level of results that I am capable of. And so I sat back, I literally took, I think at that time I took like 30 days away from my business because I was that burnt out, right? And I know a lot of people go through this as well. So I literally took about 30 days away from my business, and I deeply, deeply reconnected with myself, all the things that I taught you guys in like week 1, connection to the core. And I sat down, and it was like a huge piece of paper. It was like, my kids have these big sketch pads, and it was a big sketch pad. And I just paused. I got the white space I needed, because it's so easy when you are so in it to see the forest from the trees, right? So I knew I needed to scale back. I needed to create that white space for myself so that I can have the mental capacity to see this thing from a fresh perspective. So I did all that mindset work, and I did all that like inner work, right? And then I sat down and I like looked at my business as a blank canvas. And I'm like, what do I want to create? How do I want to leverage my unique strengths? What kind of business do I want to create in terms of like my values? Because another thing that had happened to me at the time was that I felt like my business and my family were two competing things. Like, I felt like I was always in conflict between, my kids and having time for my kids and my family and my business. And I felt at that time that my business was taking from that. And so it always felt like I was competing with the two. And I knew that was not sustainable for me, because I do not believe that you should have to pick between your values, right? Especially when they're two such high values for you, right? So family for me, and then, the business and the freedom, the independence and the money that comes with that. So I had to sit down and I had to look at it from that perspective. And what do I want to create? So long story short, I came up with this Connect, Create, Convert framework. And I knew that it was something that I have like proven and have seen happen, not just when I was working, like I said yesterday, in corporate, when I was working in banking, when I was working in, running my dad's business, but even in my own business. And I thought every single time that I wanted to see results, this is sort of kind of the process that I walk through. And so I sat down and I created this magical, beautiful, amazing framework that I'm so passionately obsessed with. And what I decided was, before I started marketing that to people, I wanted to be my own case study. Right? I really thought it was important for me to be my own case study first. And so I did the connection piece, which I shared with you guys this entire month. Again, go back and look at the videos if you have not. And then I got down to the creation phase. And that was pure bliss because everything felt so easy, right? And then you guys, like, it's like magic. The conversion just started to flow. Not because not because like something just waved a magic wand and like magic happened, but because everything was so connected, it just made sense that I started to see results and my conversions increased, right? So when I did and I operated my business under this framework and I proved it to be like effective and proved that it worked time and time again, I started shifting my marketing. And I started, when I would have private clients, I started, like, I officially, right, created this framework that I would officially market and I would officially help my clients work under. Now, when I say framework, I just want to be like really clear here that this isn't something that is like, oh, your 7 steps to like ABC or like your, blueprint to XYZ. Those are all different sorts of business models. I don't have anything wrong with that. But when I say framework, I just mean like, this is the process in which I take my clients. It's not like it's like, you have to follow this curriculum and it's step 1, step 2, step 3. It's just the framework that we work under. So, if you're one of those people that like 6 steps formulas and blueprints and things like that, and you're thinking that's what this is not necessarily what this process is. I do have like courses and things like that follow more of that structure. But my framework that I work with all of my clients with is more of like, again, a framework, right? So I just wanted to clarify that. So again, I started enrolling clients and I started like teaching them under the same framework that I saw was working and producing a lot of really great results for me. And the results my clients were getting was kind of like friggin' amazing. So that's sort of like where it was birthed from, right? And it's just something that I am so obsessed with. You guys know that I am obsessed with connection, right? It is a very high value of mine. It is something that comes very, very naturally to me. And that is why I knew, and when I was creating my framework, it was something that had to be the first layer of that framework. And for many of my clients, when I walk them through this, we realize that it's also a high value for them in the way that it is structured, right? So that was just kind of like the brainchild behind it. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you. But what I started to notice more and more and more let me just pop over and see if I have any questions or comments. Okay. But what I started to notice more and more and more, you guys, as I was doing this, is that, there was such a need for this. There was such a need for this because what was happening in the business and the business to business and the marketing space, especially online, is that people were actually becoming more and more disconnected from their business, just like I felt, right? People were seeing all the other things that were happening and how noisy the marketplace was. And they were becoming overwhelmed and frustrated and burnt out and feeling like their business is hard, feeling like they're pouring everything into their business. They're sacrificing time with their family. They're, missing out on working out and their health or whatever because they're like putting all this pressure and this energy on their business and it just wasn't producing results for them. And because of that, like this disconnect was being created in their business. And, a lot of times, I can't even tell you how many times people have said to me, like, I feel like giving up. I feel like just going and finding a 9 to 5. I feel like I just don't know how much longer I can sustain this, right? And it makes me so sad to hear that because, one, I know what that feels like, but also from just a very, very practical standpoint, it's like, with the right support and with really looking at your business from this level, so many things are affected by that disconnect, right? And I don't think, sorry, I just got a little sidetracked with a notification, but so many things are actually deeply affected by not having that connection. And I think that what happens and what's happening is that people start their business and they have this mission and this passion and they have this energy and this excitement to go out there and change the world. And then when all these things and feelings and noise and all this stuff start to come into play, it creates that disconnect and it slowly chips away at that. And nothing breaks my heart more than seeing untapped potential, because it's like there is a part of you that needs that, like you have to fulfill that part of you, right? And a lot of people, when they first come to me, they're like, I just feel like giving up on my business. I just feel like this is like, I've been, I had a client tell me once that I have an MBA and I'm sitting here in my house and I know how to do business, but I'm sitting here in my house and I just feel like I don't know anything, and it just breaks my heart. So that's like what I've been seeing. And then the other thing that I see is that, and I talked about this earlier in the series, is that the other reason why I felt like there was such a big need for this is because, again, people want to, well, let me just say it this way. Because of the way that culture has shifted and technology has shifted, I feel like people really, really we've become a culture of instant gratification. And listen, I can have a whole other side topic on this, but we have become a culture of instant gratification. You swipe up, you double tap, you click, you whatever, and automatically the thing you're looking for is granted. You get it right away, right? And there is a ton of research that backs this. As a mom, I already do a lot of research around that with the kids and iPads and screen time and all that stuff, but it affects adults as well, because it really does affect your like I said, we have become a culture of instant gratification. We want the overnight success. We want the fast results. We want, like, if I'm going to start a business in a month from now, I should be at 10K months or whatever the case may be. And I'm loosely joking about that, but I do see a lot of people who have that mindset, who come to me and they're like, well, I want to launch a group program and I want 50 people in it. I'm like, okay, great. That's awesome. Let's look at what you have in place. Let's look at what you've been doing. Let's look at your strategies, only to realize that it's just not a realistic goal. But because we've been marketed to in such a way where it's like these overnight successes, these 10K months, these 6-figure launches, all these things. And again, not that those things are not possible and achievable, but I'm saying it is the exception, not the rule, right? And I think what has happened is, because that has become the norm, it is so easy that for people to like compare themselves and their business to that they miss those key pieces in their business, those key connection building pieces in their business. And as a result, they're not able to see results. As a result, they're not able to produce those long-term sustainable results, because as I've shared with you this entire series, the marketplace is looking for something different, right? And it just doesn't match up when you are over here looking for quick results. And because it's almost like, let me put it this way. I want to lose 20 pounds and to fast track my 20 pounds. I have a wedding coming up and I want to lose 20 pounds. So I'm going to starve myself. I'm just going to go on like a cabbage diet, or I'm going to do liquids or whatever the case may be. And then, it's just not sustainable. You're not going to get long-term results, because what's more important, feeling good and having energy and being and looking amazing for that event that you have coming up that's making you want to lose all that weight, or just rushing to the finish line only to gain it all back or backtrack or feel like absolute crap on the day of the event, right? So, that's just a silly example, but I hope that helps to illustrate what I'm talking about here. So why I wanted to say that is because, just going back real quick to the instant gratification thing, is that personally, on a personal side, research and data shows that culture of instant gratification is actually damaging our relationships, right? On a personal side. And what I would love to extend that, and the way that I view it, I extend that it's not just damaging our relationships on a personal side, but it's damaging our relationships with the people we have as business owners. Like as a business owner, it's also damaging your relationship with your market and your prospects and your people, right? Because we are still in that way of like thinking, I have to hit this 6 figures. As soon as I post content, people have to like engage and like my stuff. Or as soon as, I launch a program, I'm automatically going to get sold out. And it's just not a realistic expectation for you to set for yourself, right? Not that it's not possible, but again, I just want to reinforce it's usually the exception, not the rule. So to say all of that is kind of, it's like, this is the reason why I created this Connect, Create, Convert framework. And it is a part of what I've been talking about this whole month. And, if you've followed me for any length of time, if you've been reading any of my content, watching my videos, you know that it is a part of my connection-based marketing business model, right? And this is how I help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome these feelings of burnout, overcome this mindset of wanting fast track results, and actually being able to help them see that they can create long-term sustainable results, increase their conversions and increase their revenues and sales when done right, when using this framework. So, because here's how it breaks down. It's really, really simple, right? And I wholeheartedly believe that when you approach your business in these 3 containers, right? Connection, creation, and the conversion, which comes as a result of that, all of your results are possible in your business, like no matter what. All of the results lead from that, like no matter what, hands down. I wholeheartedly believe that, because here's the thing, here's a simple logic behind it, right? Once you've established those core connections, core fundamental connections that we talked about in week 1, right? Connection to the core, connection to your business, and connection to your market. Once you've established that and you've got that nailed, it makes it infinitely easier for you to take intentional action and like towards actually creating all of the strategies, the marketing, the offers, the pricing, the systems, the team, all of that stuff that you want in your business. It makes it infinitely easier for you to go about there and actually create the things that will support that in your business. And again, I went really deep into this in the 2nd week of it, and from that will lead all your results, right? And I think the best part about this is that whatever you create will be so deeply connected to you, connected to your core, connected to your business, and connected to your market, because that's the way that you've designed it, right? Like when starting at the connection level, which is the connection part of the framework, and done right, it makes that creation part of your business, whatever you're creating. Again, whether it's content, whether it's your next offer, whether it's your launch, whether it's your sales strategy, whether it's your funnel, whether it is, the way you're going about your sales calls, your marketing, whatever the case may be, it makes that part of it infinitely easier and more effective because you know that it's connected to those core fundamental things, right? And then what makes this whole thing so beautiful, right? And so systematic and so like absolutely effective is that once you've taken those intentional actions, right? And you're doing all the things that you've created, like all the things that you've created in the creation phase of this framework, you know you're moving in the right direction and you're doing it consistently. As I've been saying over and over and over again, the conversions always happen. Like it just makes sense. The conversions always happen when you are creating things that are deeply connected to those 3 core fundamental things that I taught you guys this month, right? So this is something that you can go back to over and over and over again in your business. And it is something that you can pretty much apply to anything you're about to start or do in your business. So like I've had clients use it when it comes to hiring a team to help them increase, like to help them with their just management of their social media or management of like just their back end stuff, right? going through this process. It's like, what do I want to create? How do I want to be connected to this thing? What do I want to create? And how will that lead to conversions / results for me, right? So you can use this framework to anything that you want to apply in your business, and you will see the results. So I like to think about it, just to kind of give you a little bit of a different way of looking at it, is that I like to think of the connection portion of the framework, like the first part of the framework, almost as like that mindset piece, almost as like that, like I said, that fundamental foundational work that you've got to do. So like that's you laying the foundation. The creation part of it is you really building the pillars on that foundation, like building your house, right? And the creation, like you're creating all the things, you are really taking those tangible, you're creating all the tangible strategies and the systems and the structures and all the things that you need to build on top of that solid foundation. And then the conversion piece is where you watch it all come together and by like executing and all of that stuff. And then you've got your finished result, your end product, right? So when I work with my private clients, you guys, I walk them through this framework. And it's something that we go back to time and time and time again as we work together, right? Because like I said, you've got the foundation built, then you're building all the pieces on top of that, really strong and really secure, because you know your foundation is solid. And then the conversion is your end result, your outcome, your sales and your conversions from that, right? So, you know, I want to say that a lot of people are like, when they hear this, if you're listening and you're watching and this all makes sense to you, and it seems like a really, hi Melissa, thanks for joining. Hi Shizota, thanks for joining. If you are listening, you're watching, and this like sounds like something you know you need in your business, right? I want to let you know that I work with clients on so many different levels of this, right? So some of my clients come to me with no strategy in place. It applies to you no matter where you are in your business. So some of my clients come to me with no strategy in place, right? And so we have to start at the foundation. We have to start building. They have like no real solid framework. There's nothing, like the things that they've been selling is not converting. They have to start at the great frame from the bottom. So we start at the connection phase and work up, right? I've got some clients who are doing excellent connections. They're already out there. They're getting visible. They really are really clear on who their market is, you know, what their values are. They're really, really connected and clear on that stuff. But they don't have the strategies in place. They're trying a few things and it's not working and it's not leading to the conversions. So we have to look at that, and we have to look at plugging those holes and making sure that the strategies they're taking are actually in alignment and are actually right for their unique business, their unique strengths, right? And then I've got some clients who are actually struggling to execute. They've been doing this, that, and everything, and they're struggling to actually execute and take really, really aligned action. And so they're not seeing the results. So we look at it from all of those different lenses, and we really do kind of hone in on where you are right now and where you need the most support right now. So, you know, one of the reasons why I know, and I can say with 1000% confidence, clarity, and absolute surety that this stuff works, is because I have tested it myself, right? Like, I'm obsessed with this framework so much, and I would not actually be teaching it if I did not know that it produces results, right? So I personally used it myself in my business, which I shared with you at the beginning of this video. And I still use it today when I am creating a new offer, when I'm about to launch, when I'm bringing on any sort of doing any new projects or starting any new thing in my business that I know I need, like I want to see X results for, I implement this myself. I always go back to the CCC framework because I know that it works, right? I also know that it works because I've seen it work for my clients over and over and over again. I've seen my clients double and triple their conversion rates. I've seen my clients sell for the first time, sell out their programs for the first time in years after like trying and trying and trying. I've seen my clients launch from ground zero, like not knowing what the heck a funnel was and not knowing how to write copy, to like selling out their group programs and their membership sites. I've seen this happen time and time again. because of this framework. So I know and I've seen evidence that this stuff works, right? Another reason why I really, really love this framework, you guys, is because it is so customizable and it is so personalized to you and your unique journey and as the individual, right? If you know me, you will know that I don't do cookie cutter. Like, I don't do cookie cutters. I don't do these one size fits all formulas. I really do believe that business is a very highly personalized thing. Sure, there might be some overall generalities in businesses, right? And that, I don't also believe in recreating the wheel. I really feel like we gotta what's the point of recreating the wheel? But I do believe that when I work with my clients, it's really on a highly personal level, like looking at you as the CEO, as the business on a very individual level, and applying, our strategies and all this good stuff to you and your unique business model and your unique strengths, right? So it's a really, really personalized and customized approach. Like I said before, I know my clients get results, so I see it happening over and over again. And one of the other big things I love, love, love about this framework is, and as I mentioned before, it's like we really look at your business from a very holistic view and a very holistic overall approach and a view. So we look at all aspects of your business, right? And again, it's never just about, I will say that, like, I do have offers where I have a incubator program where people know that they want to launch in a couple of weeks or like a couple months, and they'll bring me on as part of their marketing team to do that. And I still apply this. Like, even if you're not one of my one-on-one clients, I still apply this, because if you nail and you're really, really, really dialed in on your messaging, the offer that you're producing, the funnel that you're building, the marketing strategies that you have in place, the content, your visibility, all that good stuff, if you apply this framework and we really nail those things, again, that's where the conversion comes in, right? And I know what I know about business is that it's not just about, and I've said this before and over and over again, it's not just, connection is not just something that you use at the time of the sale. It is something that it has to be a part of everything you do, because if it's not, and if you're not connected to those things, and if you're not connected as a CEO to your business, you're just simply not going to show up for it. And when you don't show up for it in that way, and you don't step into your power around that, you're not going to get results, right? I mean, I'm sorry to say, but you're just not, or you're not going to get long-term sustainable results. So what I know to be true, you guys, is that business is simple. Like, it boils down to a few very simple things. It's not overcomplicated. It's not this big. It's not hard. It's all the other crap that gets in our way that makes it hard. And so I wanted to share with you guys this framework today, because I wanted to show you how implementable it is for you and your business, regardless of what stage you are in your business, right? And as I mentioned yesterday, and I wanted to say again, I do have spots open right now back for my 6-month coaching program where we use this framework. I have spots open for my private program. So if that is something that you think you're interested in, if you know that you need support around growing your business, generating more leads, getting more visible, increasing your sales and your conversions, the link is in the description of this video. And I'm also going to put it in the comments for you if you want to book in a complimentary call with me. I'll be happy to chat with you and kind of see where you're at right now in your business and where I can best support you. So I'm going to put that link in the comments. And like I said, spots are now open back for the rest of 2020. I have a few spots left open. So if you'd like, hop on a phone call with me and let's talk about what that would look like. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope this information was helpful. I hope it gave you a little bit more clarity on what this framework looks like. And of course, if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, just leave them in the comment. I say this over and over again, and I will go back and I will answer them as best as possible. Thank you so, so much, and I will see you all tomorrow.